Let's do some more functional art here. This is going to be a piece with some blue, uh, North Star cobalt blue, and some clear. I'm going to be adding some horns to this. This is the second piece that I've ever added horns to. So we're going to see how that works. That's what I'm working on right now. Behind the flame, there's two completed horns that I already made before I remembered to turn on the camera. Oopsie daisies. So basically what I'm doing is I'm lining a piece of clear on two sides with a piece of blue. Then I'm melting it in and pulling it out into a horn shape, if you will, basically. And I'm going to try to replicate that shape. And then I attached it to a thin 3mm piece of glass. And I'm just adding the final shape, twisting off the larger piece of glass because the end that is now off the glass stick that I just warmed up is going to be the place that I attached to the final piece of art. So now I'm going to make the second on the camera. There's going to be a total of 4 horns on this piece. I think it turns out rather well. So I'm going to be basically just repeating the steps from before. So GT Helpify asked on my last video, wouldn't it be easier to make bongs than to make two-piece pipes and that sort of thing, pieces of art like this? And no, it would not be, because the bongs require a lay to get a proper alignment with it. It's very easy to screw up a bong if you don't have a lay. So I'm going to be working on bubblers mainly. And a cat just walked into my apartment. That's weird. I'm gonna have to pause this. Wow. So to provide adequate ventilation for my glass blowing that I do, I have to keep my door open. And it's still open, and as I'm recording this, sitting at my computer, a cat just walks through my apartment and into my bedroom. So that is quite entertaining. So anyways, what I'm doing now is I just closed the tube off after I lined it with 2 pieces of clear or of blue glass, and now I'm going to melt those lines in. As I pulled and closed the tube, you can see that I wasted very little glass, and it gave the blue a bit of a twist into the end there. So now I'm going to be puffing it out and blowing into the glass to shape it and form it into a bit of a ball, and melting the glass in nice and smooth. So on my last video I called it a spoon, what I was making, and it was a very simple piece of art, and the name for it in counterculture is actually a spoon. So that's where that came from. So I didn't just make that up. But that's the technical term for that sort of piece of art. So now I'm just puffing it out a little bit more and making sure I have a nice even circle with the thickness of the glass uniform all the way around. Then when I'm done that, I'm going to puff out the end to make sure. This is where I'm making sure that the glass is the same thickness. And now I'm going to puff out and blow out a hole for the bowl at the end of this piece of art. And I just tap it in to sort of secure the edges. It cools that area down, so when I warm it up, it doesn't close the hole up. And then I'll push it down, and at the end there, I just warm it up a little bit to get rid of some stress marks inside the bowl. Now I'm going to add a second hole, because this is where I'm going to attach it to the stem. So I open it up to the right diameter and get the right tool, and there you go. So now I'm going to attach a puntee to the top of this piece, and that's going to allow me to separate this from the rest of the point that I'm working with, to allow me to make the down stem. So people keep asking me how much it costs to get into glass blowing. Really, don't consider it unless you have a lot of money and a lot of time. It costs a lot of money. I just spent $1,300 on a kiln and a bunch of glass. So I'm going to have some awesome videos coming up, and some lots of fun working with glass in the next little while. But it's costly. I'm not complaining, but it's costly. So now I'm going to go ahead and start working on the down stem. As you can see, the bowl was finished there. It's kind of cool how when I have the glass in the fire, the video goes really dark, and that's because it messes with the polarity or whatever of the camera, the amount of light it picks up. So cool. Anyways, I'm just rounding out the end once again. Have to do this every time I start a piece to make sure that the glass is evenly thick all the way along, because if it's not, you're going to have blowouts or areas that don't look as good as the rest. So I'm just cleaning off the end there. There was that air bubble in it, which kind of pissed me off, so I made sure to get rid of that. It's still fucking there. So I have to remove it again, as I think so at least. Nope. Alright. And now I have to figure out exactly how I want to make this piece, because I didn't really think about that before I started it. That's just sort of the way I've been working, sort of going by the seat of my pants. I have a lot of fun doing it that way. So I'm just going to line two pieces of blue glass down on either side of this to sort of replicate what I did onto the bowl. And I'm going to give it just a bit of a spin up the down stem before I add the horns. So it's going to take me the next few minutes to melt that in. It's always the longest part of the process is adding color and melting it in until I get a bigger torch. So that's just the way shit is. Yeah, so after I get my kiln, I'll be able to give all of these pieces that I'm making in these videos away, because I'll be able to sort of mass kiln anneal them, which will sort of give them strength and stability, and will allow me to give them away responsibly. And then after that, eventually I'll be selling them through the Dragon. My viewers, of course, will get a nice discount, of course, because that's just the way I roll. So I'm still melting this shit in. It's going to take a while. And as I'm melting it in, I'm just going to start to give it a little bit of shape. As I constrict down the width of the glass, it's going to naturally pull it out a little bit on its own. With my next shipment of glass, I've got a bunch of color coming. I ordered a North Star Color rod sample set, which is 6 inches, 6-inch rods of each of their colors. And what that will do for me is allow me to experiment and play around with something like 50 colors or something like that. And after that, I'll have a good idea of what colors I want to play around with and buy after that. I also bought a ton of frit, which is sort of shattered glass. And what the shattered glass is going to allow me to do is add some colored texture to the inside or outside of the pieces. And it looks really cool in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to playing around with that. So I'm now about 90% done melting it, and all I have to do is melt in the bowl here, or the ball area where I'm going to blow it out in just a second. So just spinning it around. My wrist is getting buff as hell spinning this glass so much. Unfortunately, shortly after I finished this piece right here, I ran out of gas, which kind of pisses me off because it's only 10 o'clock tonight, and I was planning on torching all night. So now I have to make videos for you guys. Jeez, what a pain in the... I'm kidding. So let's see. Okay, I'm adding some shape to the end there, just bending the neck over. And then I decided that I wanted to give the top of the neck just a little bit more of a constriction and a stretch as well. I probably should have done that before I gave it the stretch lower down, but that's okay. So there you go. Now it's time to blow out the hole where I want to attach the two pieces together. Puff, puff, puff. Oh, it's hard sometimes if the glass is thick. And I got it there. Now I have to open the hole up. And I'm using the pick on my tweezers for it this time. Instead of the graphite paddle, but now I'm using the proper tool, which is a little bit thicker and allowing me to circle it out. And now I'm going to have to warm the bowl piece up to the proper temperature so I can attach the two. It takes about a minute or two in the heat. I turn down the oxygen on the flame, and what this does is it allows me to have a cooler flame, so there's going to be much less chance of me cracking the piece. And then I turn the oxygen back up. I'm going to turn both of the holes molten white, connect the two together, give it a puff. That's why I haven't added a carb yet. also because I have to add horns, and I have to pressurize the tube a little bit to add them properly. And having it just a single hole for the bowl is easy enough to deal with. So now I'm just patching up and taking off the punty off the bowl, and as you can see, the piece is basically done if I wanted to finish it now. But what I'm going to do now is add those. I'm going to add those four horns to it to give the piece a cool look. So just going to see how I do that. I'm warming the piece up nicely. You want to make sure that both sides are the same temperature when you attach them. Forgive me, I have to balance it out and flatten the bottom first. I decided to do that before the horns, don't know why. But, c'est la vie. Once again, I just pressurize the tube. It helps to make sure it's nice and even. Now I'm going to add the horns. It just takes a few minutes, once again, to make sure I get them sort of positioned the way that I want them on this. That's one, blow into it, pressurize it, position it, get it set, and remove the clear rod from the end of that. Do the same with the other side. Now the four, two of them were a little bit bigger than the other ones, so I put the small ones on the bottom just to give it a bit of a cup to flow down with the shape of the bowl there on this piece of art. Yes, art. So once again, I'm just removing the clear punty, making sure that it's nice and even, and I have two more to go. After I've finished putting these on, I still have to blow out the carb. I still have to get a mirror because I'm blowing the carbs out in the blindly. Like looking through the piece really is difficult. It would be much easier if I could see what I was doing. So now I have three of the horns on, and you can sort of see there that the shape is twisted around. I did one thing at the end of this video that's a little bit different, that will give it a cool little shape to the end. It's kind of fun to do this. It's going to take me in a new direction, adding pieces to it. The horns are kind of cool. I like to stay with smaller shapes like this, but now I'm trying to figure out where to put the carbonator, and I choose to put it just at the end of the pipe. It's going to be sort of for your thumb, and you hold this in your the palm of your hand. I have pictures of it completed at the end there. So as you can see, it takes me quite a while to blow out the carb while I'm blind, because I sometimes take the heat off where I want to blow it out. So I'm still blowing, and pretty soon I pop it out and I clean it up, and then I have to remove the end of it. About 2 weeks ago, it took me about 5 minutes to make sure that I got the pick of the mouthpiece open and clean, and today it's a whole record. We're gonna see how many picks it takes me today. It should take me to, once I open this off, clean the end off a little bit. And alright, so now I'm going to take a pick, and it's going to go 1, 2, 3. No, it was 2. It was 2. It really was 2. I think that one of them was just to clean up. 2 or 3, either way, fucking awesome. Getting much better at that. And you're going to see that the final piece looks really nice. And nice and clean when I have it finished. So I'm just going to turn the heat down, and there you go. So let's zoom in and take a look at this piece, and then we're going to look at pictures of it finished. The weld is pretty good on this. There's one area that could be a little bit better, but overall I give the weld a decent job, or a decent grade, and the piece works out alright. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with these horns in the future. But there you have it. Cheers, guys. Have a good night. And, of course, happy melting.